What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 2010 mixtape by Kebo Gotti. Basically this product is called Anybody Can Get It. Basically this product is called Anybody Can Get It, and it came out in the spring of 2010. So the thing about this particular product here is, if you don't know who Kebo Gotti is, he's some Waka Flocka slime as far as this pitch can happen. I want to say he was signed to Brick Squad Monopoly, which was an offshoot of like Gucci Mane's Brick Squad label from 2010, the early 2010s as far as this fair is going to happen. Now particularly Kebo Gotti never dropped an album. He was kind of within the same fare as like folks like Slim Duncan and Woo Da Kid, some of those type folks. He was more Waka Flocka slime more so than Gucci Mane slime, but Kebo Gotti was more Waka Flocka slime more so than Gucci Mane slime, but some excellent concepts kind of get this here. Another mixtape classic, kind of a more low-key type one. I'm not sure within the fair as to how popular it got on Dat Piff. This was something I didn't get around to messing with back in those days. I want to say I at least knew who Kebo Gotti was. If you don't know who he is, if you've heard the single, the fourth single from Waka Flocka's Flockavelli album, Grove Street Party, he's the other rapper on that particular song, so it's a good type pitch. Didn't have like a ton of commonplace kind of commercial spotlight once Waka Flocka kind of phased out by like 2012. I want to say that Kebo Gotti wasn't really on Triple F Life, his Waka Flocka's second album either, so it's just within the pitch. It was mainly, I'm not sure if Kebo Gotti was on Ferrari Boys from 2011, the Gucci Mane Waka Flocka album, but he was someone that was kind of buzzing, that was probably going to drop an album had that particular saga lasted longer, but just kind of fell apart within those pitches. But for the most part, I want to say Kebo Gotti does not really have like a wiki page about him. He does have mixtapes, but places like Rate Your Music, Discogs don't have like a commonplace kind of list of the stuff he's done. I was able to look around and find that he has like at least 3 or 4 other mixtapes. I assume that he started his kickoff with mixtapes somewhere in like the winter or spring of 2010, considering that's when Waka Flocka was in like his second year getting his fellows up and running as far as this pitch can happen. Like Slim Duncan, for example, put out his first solo mixtape in February 2010, so it's just when the pitch that all these folks started to happen. Particularly, I assume that there were probably more mixtapes that happened throughout 2010, 2011, maybe early 2012, but it's just when the pitch as far as saying that is some good type fare, but the information's kind of scanned as like the full bound list of things that particularly kind of happen. There's not a ton of places that really is full bound. No, really this particular mixtape, basically I was not able to download. I mean, I am able to download, but I'm going to have to create an account to be able to download it. So it's just when the pitch, it's not really on places like the Internet Archive, some of those type places where it's just a simpler type download within the pitch. So it's this kind of concept it's definitely worth getting a hold of. This mixtape is going to get a 10 out of 10. Like I said, it's a good type pitch for that. Just further examples of, this is just a good product of like the same mentality and bout type stuff that Flockavelli kind of was. Now this came out a few months before Flockavelli, but basically the concept, paying attention to like a good Salute Me or Shoot Me mixtape by Waka Flocka, some of those type folks that were having that particular movement between like late 2000s, like mid 2009 to about probably the summer 2012, some of those type pitches, or even maybe a little bit further within some of that type area. Just the mixtape drill era within some of those type pitches, just Dat Biff classic within some of that. Thing about it is, I'm not really as full bound sure what the singles were off this product, because once again there's not a ton of information, but there might have been a music video or two, something like that. I look after it here. If I had to choose some singles that I probably would have chosen to make some music videos for, I definitely would have said that the Waka Flocka featured song, which is the only time Waka Flocka is on this album, which is unfortunate, but still Kebo Gotti handles this on his own. Ray Ray's a real excellent choice for a single. I'd probably say the sobering song My Turn could have been a pretty good radio jingle within a more typical kind of makeshift car commerce kind of sense. I'd say that Stunt-tastic's a real nice one. Some of those type of pitches I'd have to say, and probably like there's another one on here, like I'm trying to think of like one that reminds me of like, probably like I Got Money would be some ones for that relative pitch. But the thing about this cat, if I had to guess if he would have been to the point of making it to an album, he probably would have been just like a miniature version of what Waka Flocka was kind of doing in 2010. He has like that same sort of rugged kind of street cut type aspect of folks like Yo Gotti, Lil Durk, Waka Flocka, Slim Duncan, some of those type folks. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying that that's the product of what probably would have happened. Wouldn't have been very high on public relations, but there are some moments on here like My Turn and like the Roscoe Dash single, which is Show Out G-Mix, that probably would have had that relative type aspect. Probably would have been like the Tupac and Plies type territory had he gotten commercial aspects, but it's just one pitch. So good type fare. He's not deceased or anything, but it's just the product that he just doesn't drop as commonly, and I don't know how much he dropped past like 2012 or so. It's just one pitch. So yeah, I recommend every song off this project. There's 18 songs in here. There's 21 songs in here, but minus the 3 skits, intro, outro, pitches like that, there's 18. And the only song I don't recommend in any fashion is just a song alone. So talk about that one. This one's just kind of like a feel like the song just tried to pull out the vibes of like Tupac, Me and My Girlfriend, just without the romantic type fare within the pitch behind it. It's just kind of one of those type ones. It just has like that dramatic kind of like this has that dramatic kind of Colombian tinge type aspect about it. It just doesn't pull out the vibes as full bound as like the aspect behind it. It's really, the bravado about it's pretty high within the pitch. It's kind of an elegant type song, but just didn't nail it as full bound within the appeal behind it just within the pitch. It's the only real song I didn't recommend is full bound with it. But yeah, this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10. Some of these type ones are just bell swoops just within the pitch. There are a couple remixes on here which are referred to as G mixes. The Show Out G mix, Oh Let's Do It remix, or G mix. So the only song I'm not going to talk about in any fashion is just out of these 17 I recommend is just Oh Let's Do It G mix, which is basically just the Oh Let's Do It single that Waka Flocka put out just with Kebo Gotti instead and a couple of his fellows as far as this pitch can happen. It's still an excellent song. I do recommend it. It's excellent type fare. So yeah, like I said, the only song I don't recommend is Alone, but all these other 17 I recommend. So just go down the list with some of these. Like I look after Stuntastic's a real nice one. This is one of the first ones I listened to. It's like some usual kind of evening slide type music kind of get here. Just by slide I mean slide, just easy kind of cruise pitches like that. Typical kind of flip mode relief, I'd have to say within some of those aspects. Flip mode, I mean like the concept of just switching out of work shift type gear pitches like that, getting towards the concept of not still being in kind of SFW type mode, but getting towards the concept of getting crunked. It's a good song to grab supplies and toke up as far as what's fair is going to happen. So there is a little bit of those aspects just within the fair behind it, just like the concept of like, alright, my tasks are done, some of those type pitches, just getting ready to get crunk and have like the fair getting towards like some rilers. And this is kind of local within a pitch. I feel like this is kind of the concept. If you like the kind of more house party residential type fair of Flocka Valley, this is even more residential than that. This is kind of where it's more, a lot more ground level, where you're going to have these rilers, where it is kind of more about like the DAP and like the politicking, some of that type stuff, where a little bit more gab is going to be necessary to initiate some of these type things, where it's just within pitch, it's just more local type numbers just within pitch. The same sort of Zaytoven type sound that he particularly does with Gucci Mane, but just within the product it is more, where it's not, this mixtape is not necessarily mixtape drill, but it's just kind of the product of just taking like Waka Flocka type fare just without the drill type turn up within pitch. Just more local type numbers and just the in-between type moments of getting like the cash flow, some of those type pitches, hitting up errands, paying some bills, getting some grub, some of those type pitches. Just kind of within the product of just more street conduct, just within the neighborhood type fare, and just the product of just lifestyles as far as this pitch can have. But it has some of these type moments just within the pitch. Some of these are makeshift, some of these are just more turn up, but a lot of this is just like the, pretty much I would say probably between like 3 o'clock p.m. to probably about 1 o'clock in the morning, or somewhere within the night fare, some of these type ones. But Ray Ray's a real nice one. Like I said, this is the only true song that has Waka Flocka on here, on him dropping a verse back when he was in his prime in 2010, 2011. So it's good type pitch, good street single to kind of say here. Definitely some block turn up, good example of like getting ready to get things started. This has some good vehicle knockabout. I'd say good choice for some of that type fare. Neighborhood jumpstart fun to kind of get within those aspects. It's just good. It's good product for some of that particular pitch behind it. Probably an immediate one to go for folks who really don't know a thing about Kebo Gotti within some of those type pitches. Just a further type product. This would be a good starting point if you've heard the song Grove Street Party and you want a good product to something to listen to within some of that type fare. But it's just not the same sludgy type energy, not as much house party type fare within that particular sense, but it is a good conduct to some, just a good cousin that has that same sort of, probably could be played in the same night as Grove Street Party if that's your starting point for Kebo Gotti as far as this first going to happen. It's a good type pitch. The song My Turn is a nice one. Now this particular song is different from a lot of the fares of this album. This is probably one that probably could have been a radio grab within a sense. It's like a mixtape, almost single type format. It's like a sobering kind of makeshift drifting kind of get here. Just Tupac-like kind of real talk, I'd have to say within this particular song. Something like the song Changes by Tupac, one of those type fares. Good change of pace and definitely some good radio dredge as far as this fair is going to happen. So just within the pitch, good type aspects behind that. Show Out G-Mix is a quality one. Now this was a Roscoe Dash type song within the pitch. Not sure which project it came from. It's just within the pitch. I might have reviewed the actual song that Show Out came from by Roscoe Dash, but I'm not as full bound sure. But this is like a good revamp of like a Roscoe Dash bop. I'd have to say it makes it a little bit more in the trenches, pitches like that. Just a little bit more neighborhood within the concept, at least for the pitch behind. I mean, he, it could have been Waka Flocka on there, but it just feels like something you'd listen to within a localized type sense. Not to say that Kebo Gotti was that local, but just within the concept of just getting that more kind of flavor, just something that's just more red cut type music as opposed to champagne or something like that. It's just kind of the concept, considering that he was kind of hungry and street grit within this particular time in 2010. Just more trenches bound and this like a good street hop to kind of get here. So it's just an aspect, Roscoe Dash was red hot in 2010. He was kind of like the hood hook soldier as far as this pitch kind of happened. A lot of those street cuts that kind of happened, he was doing all those hooks back in 2010. So Roscoe Dash was some good concepts doing that particular fair. Just another example of that. Everybody Talk is a quality one as well. It's like a gliding kind of feeling great kind of commerce to kind of get here. Just some mixtape trap kind of air and run type music with the pitch behind it. Just kind of hustle out kind of fun as far as this pitch kind of happens. So just one of those type ones. Just get some stuff done just with the pitch. Just having bills pay some of that particular type fare, but just kind of being out and about. Just kind of the concept. I mean, it's just a little bit more. I forget the pitch between. I get the words confused between elated and belated. I think it's the one where it just feels good. I don't know if it's elated. I guess I could look that up. Everybody Talk is just kind of a gliding and kind of elated type song within the pitch behind it as far as those fairs going to happen just with the commerce of just cruise around just within the concept behind it, but just the pitch as far as saying just kind of out in the wind and getting some stuff done with just being productive, but not quite as full bound like a sheer kind of hustle song just in like the standard mead mug kind of grit about it, but just kind of concept of just jovial within a relative type pitch, or just kind of more just having more just charm, just a little bit more just in a better mood type concepts within it. So it's good type fare. You Lie has a pretty good pitch about it. This like some quick times kind of drama cuts kind of get here just in the aspect just that typical kind of caught up type fare reminds of like Flocka and Lil Durk, some of those type folks, just that typical type fare just amidst like the street life pitches like that. Pretty much like a busybody kind of out on the town as far as those fairs gonna happen. So just quick times, some of that type fare, just kind of blurry type fashion just with the pitch behind it. You and your pals, just typical dramatics that go along with the pitches like that. It's kind of a good song for your personal life within a street type fare as far as this pitch gonna happen. Intro 2 is a nice one here. It's like a demon time kind of wake up bravado, I'd have to say, within some of those type aspects. This further kind of Flocka mentality within some of those type pitches. Definitely some trenches kind of right around within the fair. So it's just local within the pitch behind it, but just the product of this, getting some stuff done. It's kind of the aspect of this, like that continued kind of Flocka type aspect is the pitch of just things like Salute Me or Shoot Me, some of those type fairs, just the Dat Piff kind of mixtape era. It's a good type cut just within the aspect of woke up 6:45, 7:15 p.m. hop into it within some of those type pitches, just like the product of like that consistent kind of urban type fare. A pretty good turn up type one. If you notice, I haven't talked about a ton of house party moments on here. A lot of this is just kind of more amidst the lifestyle, but a good nice one to get tore up to, be out of control. It's like some pull up to like some house party kind of thunder pitches like that. Just feeling great, ready to get hella tore up as far as this pitch can happen. So just a product of some of that, either getting tore up or getting ready to get hella tore up. Just kind of the aspect of one of those type ones of TGIT. Thank God it's Thursday. Thank God it's Friday. TGIT, TGIF. I know TGIT isn't a thing, but it should be just because Thursdays are good days too. Thank God it's Thursday, thank God it's Friday, some of those type pitches are just getting towards the red cup, some of that type fare. Get Some Business is a nice one. Now, this song particularly reminds me of Cut Calhoun back in 2010 as far as this person can happen. Same sort of local kind of buzz appeal. It's like a local buzz hop to kind of get here. Just left like the drugstore pitches like that. Just feels like something you'd listen to with like a brown paper bag with like a bottle in it. Some pitches like that. Just kind of situate for some excitement as far as this person can happen. Just some evening dredge within those aspects. There's good amount of flip mode relief on here. Some of these type pitches like the concept of just some of that kind of red skies kind of just jumpers as far as this pitch can happen. That's a good nice one. I Got Money is a quality one. This one reminds of like late 2000s kind of ATL type music. I'm not sure if Kebo Gotti is from Atlanta, but it's just from the pitch. I think he's probably within that relative product of it. It's like some usual hustle kind of neighborhood crawl. It's going to get within those aspects. Just miss the neighborhood gas station run, Taco Bell run, some of that type fare. Just good song to flex to and some ride-outs within those pitches. So mild kind of vehicle stunt type music within the pitch behind it. Just pitches like that, some of that particular aspects. It's kind of the product of this. Kind of like a miniature type song, something like, I would say like No Hands, one of those type pitches. Not as much of like a commercial single as No Hands, but just in the pitch, just like some gloss about it. This has like the product, some of that type fare. In the Streets is a quality one. This like a Kebo Gotti version of Oh Let's Do It by Waka Flocka, kind of a street single within that particular format. Just some neighborhood represent within some of those type fares. Just really the candor and overall representation of that song is just like almost like a carbon copy, damn near. It's just Kebo Gotti's take on that particular type form, which is a good type fare, and it's not commonly that particular happens with rapper or rappers slime that kind of do songs similar to like singles that they like by them. I think you can tell that Kebo Gotti fucked with like the Oh Let's Do It, because it has variations that particular song a couple times on here. So it's within the pitch. Good type song. Oh Let's Do It is an excellent type one. Initial kind of Waka Flocka single that had that street type vibe, so it's just within the pitch. It's kind of a buzz cut as far as what's first gonna happen. So is this particular song, In the Streets. I'm trying to think of some other ones like Say Yeah is a pretty bitchin' type one on here. It's like an early 2010s demon time comedy to get within some of these aspects. It's kind of woke up late. Local runs that I'd say just energized, kind of mild mixtape drill. I'd say pretty loud type song within the pitch. So it's just kind of the concept. This is one of the few drill songs that I'd say on this particular product just kind of amidst that particular turn up. I want to say for the most part, Waka Flocka had not really dropped hard in the paint just yet. So it wasn't as if like drill had full bound kind of caught on. That particular song, Hard in the Paint, was one of the ones that helped kick off that particular type movement. It was kind of a little bit before before Waka Flocka was completely getting to like household name, but just within the pitch, there's some good type fairs and some of that brewing type energy that kind of particularly had it. So I just look after it. It's more neighborhood outs just within like an 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock p.m. type sense, just night commerce. Another quality, salute me or shoot me in Flockavelli-esque type cut on here would be Never Ever. This is like a typical kind of dope Flockavelli early 2010s mixtape trap anthem. Very similar to like Lil Durk, some of those type ones. Just kind of amidst that product, this typical type one. Pretty vanilla within a Dat Piff kind of mixtape sense of like if you're familiar with Salute Me or Shoot Me, some of those type ones. Slim Duncan within certain senses, some of those particular type folks. It's just good for like some regular commerce here. Yeah, but Never Ever is just like a typical street cut that works pretty damn well within the pitch. Get Like Me is a quality one. It's like a vintage kind of ringtone rap venue noise kind of get here. Just a riler, definitely, I'd have to say. Feel good kind of evening embrace, I'd say here. And just an overall hungry type one. So it's another type one. Goes pretty well with like I Got Money, some of those type pitches. Just kind of the product of diss, the aspect of diss, blood kind of. It's kind of a goosebumps and kind of excitement type song within the pitch of just getting ready to have like some good times. Pretty much another good one that goes along with like that song I talked about, like some of that particular one that I just said earlier about the Thank God It's Friday, Thank God It's Thursday, some of those type pitches. I forget which one I said about that one with, but just kind of product of some of those type ones. Then the particular pitch of just like kind of a little bit ringtone rap, just vintage to like 2008, 2009. It was still relatively early in 2010 when this particular song came out, but just within the pitch of some of those. There's a bug in here, but this within the particular pitch of some of those type ones within the aspects as far as those first gonna happen. So just a good riler just to get things started and get ready to get crunk. Not quite amidst like the house party, like I would say like Ray Ray and some of those type of ones, like Show Out and some of those Show Out G-Mix and like Stuntastic within certain like Ray Ray and Show Out G-Mix and In the Street, some of those particular type ones just within the pitch behind it. But I would have to say some good type fare. Out of Control be another nice one within those pitches, but it's good type concepts. I think the other song I haven't talked about on here within some of that particular type fare would just be I don't think I've talked about Anybody Can Get It. I don't think I've talked about like there's another one on here, In the Coop. Like, so I'll talk about Anybody Can Get It. It's like a jazzy kind of quick times commerce kind of get within these aspects, just getting stuff done. I'd have to say Stack Goodies Up. It's a good vibe type song kind of get within those pitches. Yeah, I'd say Anybody Can Get It. It's just a nice one to kind of stack goodies, some of those type pitches. Just kind of amidst like a blurry type aspects behind it. Just kind of car-centric within pitches, some good concept, but just being productive, some of that type fare. Not necessarily like a full-bound kind of hustle song, but just within the pitch of this, getting things done. Just kind of point A to point B, just, you know, green check mark emoji kind of pitches within those particular products. Just the aspect of this being productive and just successful within the concept of it. Really the concept of just having some of those particular type flares. In the Coop like is a nice one as well. It's like a neighborhood traffic kind of brewing, kind of passive heat to kind of get here. It's not so much one of these rilers type full bound within the pitch, but it's just kind of a passive aggressive type song within the pitch behind it. Just kind of riled up, but not necessarily like drill kind of just get crunk stand on couches type pitch, but just kind of one that just kind of has that energy of just being riled, but not like Tupac Ambitions as a Rida or Waka Flocka kind of hard in the paint type energy. It's just kind of one that just gets you excited, but it's just not 10 out of 10 in energy. Definitely like some task wrap up here, I'd have to say within the pitch behind it. A good night primer can get within some of those aspects. Night primer is what I mean by that, just within the fair. So this kind of concept, but just a little bit of leftover work shift, kind of similar to songs like Stuntastic, some of those type pitches. I think there's another one on here that has some of that particular type fair, like Intro 2, some of those type ones. But just being able to say within the, and by Intro 2, I don't mean the first intro, that's 30 seconds. I mean Intro 2, the song that's actually a song. So I look after it. So In the Coop likes just a good type product to dislike, good excitement for later on as far as this pitch can happen. Similar to Get Some Business, some of those type ones that I'd say, some of those type pitches. Songs like Get Like Me, some of those type pitches I'd have to say. So it's just within the conduct here. So I think I talked about every song within some of these type fairs. Trying to think if there's absolutely any other type ones I haven't talked about within some of these aspects here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I talked about every one. So this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10. The social score I'll probably give a 9.75, 2 out of 10 because this is a productive type one. But apart from songs like Get Like Me and possibly Show Out G-Mix, which is not really even Kebo Gotti's song, this particular mixtape does not really have like a single in terms of the format of something that really gets folks riled up as full bound. I feel like Ray Ray is a good attempt, but Waka Flocka probably should have been on here a little bit more to help create like a further kind of buzz-like attempts to kind of get like some further thunder to get like these dance club hits kind of stacked up. This is a good type product, but it's not very social aspect within the tone of like night type product. There's some house party cuts on here that have like the product of getting ready to get fucked up, some of those type pitches like grabbing like the red cups and all that particular party favors type fare. There's not really amidst like the 1 o'clock a.m. and midnight and 10 o'clock p.m. type pitches amidst like the craziness. And I was surprised by that. Here I was kind of thinking that there was going to be some of those type moments, like when you think of like Grove Street Party and No Handsome, those type pitches. Not to say like this is a dull album, it's just within the pitch, it just is not more amidst like the car. I mean, there's the moments of getting towards it and the relief of before you get towards it, but it's just kind of the product is more lifestyle bound within the pitch, apart from like maybe a couple moments, but there's just not really like an anthem on here, maybe Never Ever, and like I was saying, like Get Like Me or some relative type ones in Ray Ray, but it's not really amidst, like, there's just not a song like Hard in the Pain or something like that that just has like the anchor of like this particular project. So this minus like a mild sense, minus Ray Ray, I'd probably say this mixtape doesn't have a full bound anchor. It's a little bit tricky to snag in terms of like a download as well, and just the information on Kebo Gotti is pretty minimal, so it's just been the pitch as far as this first episode. 9.75. In terms of future, like Kebo Gotti has not really been around since like the early mid 2010s, probably not much past like 2014 or 2015. But I look within the fair as far as saying this is a classic here, despite the minor snags I said about the product. It's still not enough to say it's not a classic, Dat Piff classic, 10 out of 10 classic, all that particular type fair. So it's an easy kind of highlight, easy enough to download, find, and recommend, and fuck with this for like that lifestyle product to like those particular kind of more Flocka Valley and Lil Durk type times, just the early 2010s mixtape type fair, and just amidst that.